My name is Akeem Rab. I'm with the Glazers local union guy. What else would you like to know?
This podcast contains adult language.
My personal feelings in regards to the right to work law in those states with support is that typically the budgeting and cost for construction stays the same in those states, but of course they pay the laborers significantly less. So the businessmen, the contractors still make the same amount of money, but now they get the labor done for less. Also, typically, you have individuals willing to do that work. They may not be significantly skilled in that work.
Welcome to the James Chambers Show. I'm your host for this podcast, James Chambers. I'm going to keep this one short. I have a splitting headache, so I'm going to hit you with just one quick little thing that happened this week and then go take a handful of ibuprofen. This week here in Missouri, we held our primary elections, and on the ballot was Prop A, which would have codified right to work into law. So Missourians, to my surprise, rejected Prop A on a 2-to-1 basis. I mean, we just steamrolled that sucker. And for a deep red state like Missouri, I really thought that the conservative talking points about right to work laws would resonate. And so I'm really glad to be wrong. Missouri would have been the 28th right to work state in the U.S. And so for this reason I stated a minute ago, I'm not going to delve into the policy depths that I normally would. So I'm going to give you a quick primer on what the so-called right to work laws are and why they're misguided and harmful. We dodged a bullet here in Missouri, so maybe I can help my listeners in other states to do the same. Basically, right to work laws are designed to do one thing: to undermine a union's ability to adequately function. Pro-right to work arguments claim that it's a workers' freedom issue or it's a unions have too much political power grievance, but both of those claims are nonsense. And what right to work does is to make it illegal to extract agency fees from non-union members who work in a union shop. So that fee is similar to paying a union due, but it does have some differences, and I'll explain here in a minute.
My name's Robert Smith. I'm in the Carpenters Union. As far as right to work goes, I don't see how lowering our pay scale is going to help anybody, because the union dues go to ensure that we have benefits, retirement, insurance, paid holidays, this and that, where the non-union side doesn't. So if you're working non-union, what kind of retirement have you got to look forward to when you end it?
Well, I don't want to join the union, so why should I have to pay anything? Well, here's the problem. Legally, the union has to extend the same benefits package to all employees of the company, whether they're union members or not. That means that the union is using its resources of time and money and human capital to negotiate for better wages, better health insurance, better pensions, better working conditions, better grievance resolutions, even legal support to everyone in the shop, no matter their status. Now, if you're getting the benefit of a union's collective bargaining agreement and you're not paying something for it, you're a free rider. You're a leech. You're taking the benefit of someone else's work and resources and not contributing. Like, let's say 10 people go in on a pizza and you walk into the room and you take a slice, but you didn't pay anything for it. When someone asks, hey, do you want to pitch in $1 for the pizza? You say, nope, and take a big old bite and walk out of the room. Most people consider that to be a dick move, and right to work laws claim that you are correct to steal that slice of pizza. So the workers' freedom claim is this: I have the right and freedom to be a freeloader. Not every company, nor every union agreement for that matter, requires agency fees, and that's determined on a case-by-case, shop-by-shop basis. But let's quickly hit on the too much political power claim. If you are not a member of a union, but you work in a union shop, by law, your agency fee can be adjusted to cover only those costs associated with the day-to-day workings of the union. By law, you can choose not to pay for the union's political or social activities. The political power argument is bogus in regards to the non-union members. Now, some will argue that overall, unions have too much power and influence in politics, but understand that argument for what it is. It's an assault on the worker. Cut back union influence, and what you get is a direct line for taking power away from the people. I mean, did you see that headline in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch last week about the 6-year-old who lost 3 fingers while they were working in a steel mill? No, because of labor laws and because of unions. Without their protections, the bosses would gleefully return us to the Gilded Age of corruption and robber barons.
Justin Gibbons, Rodriguez Mechanical. I believe it hurts the working class more than anything. You have a choice ultimately if you want to go union or if you want to stay non-union. By pushing the right to work, you start to handcuff some of the union members, and you start to open up a lot more work for maybe some unskilled tradesmen to take work from skilled tradesmen.
So who stands to gain from right to work? Well, who do you think? Who benefits when unions are weak? Who benefits when wages are low? Who benefits from cheap labor that can be easily exploited for profit? The owners, the shareholders, the boss, the rich. Right to work is just another tactic to hyperinflate income inequality, and they wrap it up in a blanket of freedom and fairness. And who gets screwed over yet again? The workers, you and me, people who actually create value. Without us, without our labor, the whole economy of a town, of a city, a state, and hell, even the country, it just simply dries up. Right-to-work laws are another way to take power away from the workers by subverting the union's ability to advocate on our behalf for wages and health care and job security and pensions, legal aid. There are all kinds of claims and arguments used by the right-to-work advocates. But those get into the weeds, and as much as I would love to take them all to task, that's just going to have to wait. However, instead of the weeds, let me give you some facts about what the consequences would have been here in Missouri had we enacted right to work. 60,000 fewer workers covered by union contracts, 0 increase in economic or job growth, a 3.1% wage decrease for all workers, union and non-union alike across all sectors, decreased income from the middle class, and the effect of all of that combined is overall damage to the state economy. Reduced taxes to the Treasury, which means fewer services, reduced disposable income, which means lower retail and service revenues. It's bad all the way down the line. If you live in a state that is not right to work, keep it that way. Don't fall for the bullshit. Right to work is the right to freeload. It's the right to let the rich get richer. If you live in a state that has right to work, vote to repeal it as soon as the opportunity arises. Right to work is wrong for everyone except the boss man. Missourians figured that out and voted against right to work this week. And if this red state can do it, so can yours. Thank you for listening to the bite-sized Right to Work episode of the James Chambers Show. I'll be back to full form next time, I promise. And in case you were wondering what the law that I was referring to in regards to agency fees, that's the Taft-Hartley Act of 1947, just FYI. Take care. I will talk to you all next time.